If you fall upholding dharma, you will attain heaven. If you are victorious, the world is yours. So rise, O Arjuna, and prepare yourself for battle. This is the quote that the film starts out with. It's the director's vision for his work. There are two things that this quote delivers. The first is that it leaves the conclusion of the film open ended. It leaves us with the possibility of a victory or a fall. So we know that our character will either fall or he will emerge victorious. No surprises there. The director does not want to reveal the climax. That's entirely understood. The second thing is that it tells you that the point is the battle itself. That if you fight a righteous battle, it doesn't really matter whether you win or lose because the point is the battle itself. The makers deliver to you this message via the power of this quote taken borrowed from the Bhagavad Gita itself. Very interestingly, the director, being human, is prone to projecting himself onto the speaker of the quote. So in this case, the director of the film might have projected, please do not hang me for this, but he might have projected his own ego onto that of Sri Krishna. So, in just the same way that Sri Krishna urges Arjuna forward in the capacity of his Sarthi into battle, the director of the film also plunges the story into its battlefield and the characters towards their dharma. But the point of the film is that it is going to be a battle and it is going to be a very glorious battle indeed. The very first shot of the film is that of Mr. Madhavan. It's an up close shot showing us his face. He's smoking a cigarette, standing in enemy territory, facing them head on. He's oozing with control, the flag of the nation reflected in his sunglasses, carrying his only burden is the flag of the nation that he sees in his eyes. The only thing that prevents him from wreaking havoc onto these terrorists who have infiltrated his country and made his men hostage, his countrymen hostage, is the fact that his country's honor, he sees that in his eyes. It's reflected in the film via this powerful scene where Madhavan, in all his glory, is oozing with control. And then the first chapter's title flashes on the screen. After this, we see a barrage of car escorting the Minister of External Affairs of India across a cold desert valley to a barren of Kandahar airport on the 30th of December 1999. To give you a brief context of what is going on here is that on 24th December 1999, so what's happening here is that these terrorists are delivering the Minister of External Affairs who has come to negotiate with them. He's the second party, the first of which is Mr. Ajay Sanyal, who is Mr. Ajit Doval. We all know that. They are both here to negotiate the release of the Indians held hostage by these terror operatives who demand the release of three key prisoners, starting out with 35 Indian Airlines plane ऑन रूट फ्रॉम काठमांडू से दिल्ली को वो जा रहा था. बीच रास्ते में कुछ हाईजैकर्स ने जिनमें से एक मौलाना मसूद अजहर जिसकी रिहाई की मांग करी गई थी उसका अपना सगा भाई था. ये अजय सान्याल ही टेल्स हिम दैट सर जस्ट गिव मी मोर टाइम आई विल make them kneel and they will go back empty handed. That is his promise, but because of political urgencies, this is not allowed to him. The Prime Minister is also invoked in this discussion, and they say that the pressure is mounting and we have to basically, this is the end. There's another thing interesting in the movie is that all the three terrorists, there are actually four of them in the movie, चार लोग दिख रहे हैं, all of them have their own character arc. It's not that they're not just one shot actors. One of them is the brother of Maulana Masood Azhar. He is the chief of the operation of the hijack and who has come to negotiate the release of his own brother. In the film, Madhavan says this to him. बोलता है कि पर्सन ए, पर्सन बी और आपके भाई मौलाना मसूद अजहर कल आपको रिहा कर दिए जाएंगे, कल आपको मिलेंगे. So that is the first terrorist. The second terrorist is the guy who delivers, जिसका dialogue trailer, दोनों trailers का part भी बना था. Is a very powerful dialogue where he is not only mocking, taunting, but also challenging India and Indians by calling us cowards and telling us to do whatever the hell we want. He's also The makers have also used this dialogue to invoke a sense of anger, to inspire this anger amongst the audience, to make them realize the need to retaliate. Because what is later to come on in the film is a glorious retaliation, which we will all clap to, and this has been validated across box offices. We all know the success of the film. Third guy, who comically calls Ajay Sanyal Intelligent Saab, referring to him as the chief of the Indian Intelligence Agency (IB). Also, more importantly, later becomes the chief operative, a key player in the parliament attacks that happened in December 2001, where he became a suicide bomber, attacking the Indian parliament, a brazen attack on Indian parliament, on Indian sovereignty, on the Indian people. This attack is so bold that it inspires a discussion in the Indian corridors of power. Mr. Ajay Sanyal is again, who was earlier being mocked by his friends for carrying out a failed operation, begging for more time but being denied because of reasons explained earlier in the video. Um, Now renegotiates his case, बोलता है एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर को कि there is something else I wanted to talk to you about. The external affairs minister validates his idea, puts the stamp of the PM himself onto it, and says that this was found interesting. PM को ये idea interesting लगा. You may go ahead with this. They talk amongst each other why it is important that this should be done. बेसिकली एक दूसरे को ये बोलते हैं कि अगर ये नहीं हुआ तो दुश्मन इतना ज़्यादा बोल्ड हो जाएगा कि the cost that will come in the future will be even greater and we just goes out of control. हम लोग इस चीज़ को हैंडल नहीं कर पाएंगे. This is when they decide that something needs to be done. They raise their glasses with a clink. They cheer to Dhurandhar. Operation Dhurandhar is launched into execution. That is the price of peace, and we had to pay for it. If you like this sort of content, like us for likes, subscribe if you want to keep seeing us. And on the next Friday is when the second chapter of the film drops. Show us some love. We're new and we would love to keep going. Thank you.